Unless you have been sleeping under a rock for the past year, then you probably know about the new Mega Man cartoon that's airing on Cartoon Network. This show has had a real strange history about it, as it was originally going to be on Disney XD before switching over to Cartoon Network, and the show's art style has changed a bit due to some feedback of the promotional material. As you can imagine, the show has had some very negative reception from Mega Man fans since it was first announced, but now that the show is out, is it really as bad as the promotional material made it out to be? Well, let's take a look at Mega Man Fully Charged. First thing I want to point out is this episode was written by Man of Action. I have no idea who that is, but we are already off to a great start. The episode starts off with a burning building and a reference to Mega Man to get used to that awkward pixelated transition, as this show is full of them. I like the idea of switching between 3D and pixelated art styles, but it's just done so awkwardly and forced. This does lead into the show's art style and animation, and while the art style is not terrible, it's not great either. It's definitely on the lower end of CG animated shows, and while I think the show's animation is great, I feel as though the art style just holds it back. When you compare this to CG animated shows like 2012's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you can see where its flaws lie. That aside, I think it's time I peeled off the band-aid that is Mega Mini, because having Mega Man as a character was enough, so we need a small annoying character in Mega Man's head to tag along with him. This character is by far one of the greatest sins of this show. All he exists to do is crack terrible jokes and one-liners. Seriously, the episode's plot will come to a screeching halt just so he can make some dumb joke. I think they were trying to make him charming, but he just comes off as annoying, especially when everything has to stop so we can focus on one of his terrible jokes. That aside, Mega Man saves the day, makes an obvious Sonic reference,
I call you Blue Streak.
Blue Streak?
and heads home. We cut to the next day where we meet Aki Light, who is the show's Mega Man. Not much is given on the story, but apparently Aki Light is a robot son built by Dr. Light. We don't really get a reason as to why this happens when Dr. Light does have a real non-robotic daughter, but I have a feeling we'll find out as soon as the show progresses. And I am hoping they take it in an Astro Boy route that Aki was built because of the real Aki's tragic death, but not too Astro Boy. Although now that I think about it, both of these share a shocking resemblance. We're also introduced to Dr. Light, who has gotten a bit more swole since the original games, who is reminded that he is supposed to be speaking about human-robot relations at a school assembly. I can't wait to hear Dr. Zone Tan's lecture. Also, this has nothing to do with the plot or anything related to the episode, but just look at the school principal. They hired a fucking Megazord to run this school, and he even comes with missiles. I just wanted to take a long look at the school rules to see what offense leads from out-of-school suspension to a nuclear holocaust. It's also around this time that we are introduced to Burt Wily. Yes, you heard that right. This scrawny ginger is somehow related to Dr. Wily. So if this is possible, then I guess that upside-down sprite from Sonic Mania could be Dr. Robotnik's niece. And while I would love to talk more about Burt, I'm afraid there's not much to say. His only character trait in the episode is just him name-dropping Dr. Wily and then just sinking into the background like he was never there in the first place. Also, again, look how swole Dr. Light is. Seriously, this version of Light isn't fucking around. But don't think for a second that we're done introducing more original characters, as now we meet Sergeant Breaker Knight, who hates robot kind but is forced to live with the fact that he is part robot himself since his arm was replaced with a robotic one. Now there's some interesting conflict. Maybe we could spend more time focusing on this character. Nah, screw that. Fireman shows up to burn the school full of children. And the odd thing is, we never get an answer as to why. We do see Fireman's backstory as to why he hates humans, but not for why he's targeting a school full of children. It's hinted that he showed up to kill Sergeant Breaker Knight, but this is kind of contradicted after we see Fireman attacking the children of the school. So yeah, he's just attacking the children of the school for no reason at all. But thankfully Mega Man intervenes. I'll give the show some credit in that the Mega Man transformation scene is really good, and even the action is a bit fun, but it doesn't last long as Mega Man whips out his secret weapon, a ray gun that can steal the powers of any robot he hits with it. Now, I like that they're trying to incorporate the powers into the show, but I feel like they're doing it in a really poor way. By allowing Mega Man to steal others' powers at any time, it creates false tension in the show, and it makes the fights very one-sided and formulaic. Now that Mega Man can take whatever power he needs to win a fight, I would have preferred it to take the Ben 10 route, where Mega Man gets the power up from every robot master he defeats, and as the series goes on, Mega Man gets more and more power ups. But the struggle comes from Mega Man having to use what power ups he has to solve a situation, even if he doesn't have a power that would offer a simple solution. It's like how in Ben 10, Ben's watch would sometimes mess up and turn him into a different alien than what he wanted. So he had to learn to solve the problem with what he was forced to work with. That's how you do tension right. But if Mega Man could just take whatever powers he needs, then there's really no tension to be had. But they did manage to do something neat with Mega Man's ability to take others' abilities. As it turns out, when Mega Man takes the powers of other robot masters, he also takes their personalities as well. This could be used well to add some emotional conflict with Mega Man taking powers from other robot masters, but I doubt the show will be clever or insightful enough to use this. Mega Man escapes with the others into the sewers, and we actually get the first and only funny scene on the entire episode, with Fireman trying to lift up the sewer lid, so Mega Man blasts him with some sewer water, and they both duke it out. Now, while there's a lot to critique about the fight itself, I feel that the point the fight leads up to needs to be discussed. Now, the big moral of the episode is that anger blinds you, blah blah blah. Now, this could have been a really good message, especially with the setup of Fireman, but they try teaching the lesson as if Mega Man is the one who needs to learn this lesson. This fails for two reasons. One, Mega Man isn't a very angry or short-tempered person. Throughout this whole episode, he has been calm and collected. And two, Mega Man didn't mean to take Fireman's personality. That was an unexpected side effect. So trying to make Mega Man learn this lesson just fails on all sorts of levels. But after Mega Man gives Fireman a speech about anger and unity that he learned in the past 2 minutes, Fireman has had enough and makes one of the most badass exits possible. So the day is saved, everyone cheers, and we get our equivalent of a post-credit scene where we see a secret villain hiding in the shadows, but not Dr. Wily, rather Sergeant Breaker Knight, which makes me guess that he's a Season 1 villain, with Season 2 bringing back Dr. Wily. After all, they did name drop him with Burt Wily, and that was Mega Man Fully Charged, so yeah, it was pretty bad. And I realize it's a show meant for children, but even by that standard, it's still terrible. But it is amazingly terrible. This show does so much wrong and stupid that it actually is really great. It's one of those shows that even though it's bad, it's so bad that it's good. It's a show that's so bad that it's actually entertaining. From Dr. Swole Light to Burt Wily to the wonky editing, it's all just so terribly amazing. Look, I'll be honest, if you're a diehard Mega Man fan and want a serious Mega Man show, then this isn't for you, not by a long shot. But on the other hand, if you're a Mega Man fan, or in fact, if you just like shows that are so bad they're good, then I definitely recommend this for you guys. It's so fun, and it's a great time to see how much they could possibly screw up Mega Man. You're in for a real treat with this one, and I definitely recommend it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the review. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help support future content on this channel, and I'll see you legends in the next video.